Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Let's talk about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. First and foremost, happy birthday to the OTC, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, in Columbus, Ohio. Definitely, by the way, Columbus is also home of Alexa Bliss, but Columbus, Ohio definitely acknowledged the Tribal Chief tonight. Ooh, thought the shelf was going to fall. They acknowledged the Tribal Chief with signs and chants wishing Roman Reigns a happy birthday. And the reason why Roman Reigns was confident enough to ask security to leave, even after Jacob Fatu threw chairs and tables like Jesus did when he saw tax collectors in the Bible days, even after all of that, Roman still knew he could ask them to leave and they could talk face to face because under their traditional blood oath, they cannot fight until tribal combat once the contract is signed. So, that is why there was no confrontation, no physical confrontation between them. However, I believe that Roman Reigns is going to have a new ally in Jacob Fatu because I do believe Roman Reigns is going to win this tribal combat. However, what are the odds that we may see Zilla Fatu, Booker T's? I will say this first off. You think Booker T has issues with Kiana Carver? He and Zilla do not get along. For anyone who has seen clips of Booker T's reality of wrestling, we know that in the past, Booker didn't, kayfabe speaking now, Booker T didn't like Zilla. But what if we get Zilla and Jacob on Roman's side? You think LA Knight is concerned now? Oh my goodness. And then what if we still manage next year to get Roman Reigns versus The Rock next year? I would love to see that, but I don't know if The Rock's going to be open to that, but I would love to see that. The world wants to see that. Speaking of things we want to see, I noticed something because WWE is going to be having Clash in Italy. I looked at the WWE's version of Italy Skyline because Italy Skyline was shown during tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. And I saw their stadium. I think that was one of their stadiums. So I looked up stadiums in Italy. Or should I say, was it Turin, Italy? Whatever the city in Italy that they're going to be in this Sunday, I looked it up and I found that they have a stadium called Alliance Stadium. And if you look up their stadium and if you look at images of their stadium at night, that is a really cool looking stadium, which gives me an idea. What if WWE internationally decides to host them as an international WrestleMania? I know next year, and not a lot of people are happy about this, but next year WWE should be going to Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania, and a lot of fans are not happy for that, but I'm not going to get into the political reasons why, although I have some ideas. Of course, a lot of people say London should host WrestleMania. If you pay close attention in the past, there has been a fan that has held a sign at the front row during WrestleMania from the mid 2010s and the late early 2000s where it says Vancouver for WrestleMania. Anybody remember that sign? But in any event, Italy and Alliance Stadium looks like it could host a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam, in my humble opinion. But let's talk about more of tonight's Monday Night Raw. I think Roman And Zilla, if Zilla shows up, it'll make the bloodline even more cooler and dangerous, along with Jacob Fatu joining, unless Zilla turns and aligns with Jacob. I don't know, but I think Roman's gonna win. I believe Roman's gonna win. By the way, if you are new to this channel, we do acknowledge wrestlers on their birthday, and I have several reviews on my top 10 favorite matches of Roman Reigns. Also, be sure to check out my community posts. And so I have some countdowns of my top 10 favorite Roman Reigns matches. Be sure to check that out for those of you who are new. And that being said, let's move forward. And happy Wednesday. On Monday, Ren Sinclair from NXT celebrates her birthday also. We have Obafemi telling Paul Heyman, hey, I fought to defeat Brock Lesnar. This time, I'm fighting to kill the man. And Brock Lesnar had a little simple promo tonight because, with all due respect to Brock Lesnar, I think Oba is an excellent person on the microphone, and Brock Lesnar is a little okay when it comes to cutting promos, and it was okay. It would have been better if he said, I'm going to rule over the ruler, but he said, I'm going to rule over Brock Lesnar, over Obafemi. But I would like to see Oba win this match as an Oba fan, but they're probably going to give Brock this one because of who Brock is. Of course, we don't know. I would like to see Oba win and win more, just like Seth did, just like Cody did to Seth and Batista did to Triple H earlier, but we don't know. Of course, pretty nice match between Penta and Javon Evans. There were times where I was concerned about Javon Evans breaking something with all those high-risk moves that he does, but it was still a great match to watch. Also great to see Rey Mysterio in action tonight as he overcame Rusev because Ethan Page has a big mouth. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, congratulations on them on getting a much needed victory in a pretty nice solid match between Seth Rollins and Montez Ford. I was not expecting Montez Ford to kick out of the pedigree, but he did, and I'm a fan of both Seth Rollins and Montez Ford. I think Montez Ford is great. He's awesome. He is an excellent athletic competitor. And speaking of Montez Ford, I know Montez is military, and today's Memorial Day. If you are watching this and you have been a servant to this country, God bless you guys. Happy Memorial Day. If you know somebody who is a veteran or anything like that, happy Memorial Day to you. Thank you. Moving forward, we saw Javon and Penta have a pretty nice match tonight. That one was pretty good. Rey Mysterio, great to see him in action. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in Italy. In the meantime, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you thought about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and that's all the time I have for you today, and I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much, and again, because it's his birthday, we acknowledge the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and in a few days, it will be Seth Rollins' birthday, and we will all sing the song. Until next time, have a great night, everyone. See you soon.